Good news today for Tesla stock. The inventory is down substantially in the US. You can see that especially the Model 3 in red is down a lot, as well as the Model S and X in green and orange, and the Model Y is down noticeably as well in blue. Of course, this is at least partially related to Tesla shutting down the Fremont factory temporarily, but it was shut down for such a short period of time that it's not exactly clear if it indeed had a huge effect. It certainly had some effect, but did it have such a huge effect? It's not clear. But let's assume that it was 100% because of a factory shutdown. Then the Tesla bears cannot say anymore, oh, well, Tesla does not show duplicates in their inventory. Tesla could have 100 vehicles, but it may only show one. But this suggests that Tesla's inventory in the US is very low, because if such a short production shutdown can impact the inventory level by this much, that's good news. But also, let's not forget that Tesla right now allows you to transfer your FSD software to a new vehicle, so maybe this has some impact as well. Also, a few days ago, if you configured your vehicle on Tesla's website, Tesla would show you similar vehicles that are already in inventory, and maybe this also contributed to inventory going down. But my guess is that most of this drop is because of the production shutdown. Because if it wasn't, then you would see probably a similar decline in Model Y inventory as well. The Model S and X and 3 dropped a lot, except for the Model Y, and guess why? I think it was because Model Ys were still made in Texas, and therefore the drawdown on the Model Y inventory was not as high as compared to the Model 3 and Model S and X. In the market likes this news and perhaps other Tesla stock news as well today. Before the market closed, Tesla stock was up 4.2%, and surprise, surprise, Tesla stock actually ended up closing at 4.2% higher. And on July 3rd, Tesla stock closed 6.9% higher. What a month. We have another photo of the refresh Model 3 out in the wild. Why do you think the windows are so tinted? My guess is there's something substantially different on the inside. Also, not surprisingly, Ford pushed their 600,000 annual EV capacity to 2024 from 2023. Capacity does not mean that Ford will actually end up or is targeting to produce that many actual vehicles. I mean, they will try, but it's not very likely that they will actually make that many that soon. Tesla continues redesigning its website. You can still see vehicles like this, just like you were able to see them before, but now if you scroll over these here, you can also see everything else all at once, which sort of simplifies some of the things a little bit. You can have the whole picture all at once. I personally like this news. Tesla referral credits can now be earned with demo drives. You won't get many credits from one demo drive, but if you refer a lot of people to demo drives, you will get a substantial amount. Most likely because one of them will actually end up buying the car. We have some interesting predictions in terms of how big the charging infrastructure is going to be in the US, and I think they are grossly underestimating Tesla here. Tesla is right here in this color, and as you can see, the growth is linear. Now, we all know that Tesla grows exponentially, but EV Adoption LLC, I guess, did not learn their lesson yet. Speaking of exponentials, Ford's losses from its EV business, they were guiding $3 billion for this year, but they have updated that projection to now $4.5 billion in operating losses for the year. To give you perspective, Tesla's largest operating loss in its history was in Q2 of 2018, which was $600 million roughly, and the largest annual loss was $1.6 billion. Speaking of rather quick growth, this is the 5th V4 supercharger in the world. This one is in France. Here's something I wasn't quite aware of. In Europe, all of the energy for supercharging comes from renewable energy, 100% of it. Two senior Tesla executives discussed the company's plans to enter India with officials from the country's investment promotion arm in New Delhi. Two people with direct knowledge of the matter said. I think at this point it is pretty evident that Tesla is definitely interested in India. The US-based executive, senior public policy and business development executive Rohan Patel, and the vice president for supply chain Roshan Thomas are currently in New Delhi and met officials from the Invest India agency. It's really just a question of when will Tesla build something in India. It's not a question of will Tesla build something in India anymore. There was a lot of police over at Giga Texas due to supposedly an active shooter. There was a 911 call, but thankfully it was eventually deemed a false alarm. There's a little bit of a debate going on Twitter about Tesla and advertising and how many people still don't know all of the benefits. And Emmett wrote down a list of what many people in the general public still are not aware of. They assume that Teslas are very expensive. They think that Teslas need service, which is not really true. We haven't serviced our car in a while, like an actual service. They think that a dealer somehow also is involved. They are not aware of the superior traction in snow, ice, not aware of superior entertainment, not aware of superior safety, not aware of mobile app advantages, not aware of how easy it is to use the autopilot and how fast and quickly FSD beta is improving. They're not aware how easy it is to set up home charging, etc., etc., etc. In other words, it is still a Tesla stock buying opportunity because there's a lot of demand that has not been unlocked by Tesla yet. Yesterday, a lot of people were talking about this tweet where Elon said, "I tested the version 12 alpha build today. It is mind-blowing." And people are saying that Elon's mind is easily blown because he has tweeted these things before. But this time, he's saying that version 12 is not going to be beta, so it's a little bit different. But of course, that could simply mean version 12 is not going to be released until full self-driving is out of beta, which could mean a lot of FSD 11 versions. I also found this video where you get a glimpse of a Cybertruck being built. I assume they are still working out their issues with the Cybertruck, and this is probably a release candidate, although we can't be 100% sure. There's another sighting of a Cybertruck. This seems to have a different route than the previous ones, doesn't it? This one looks a little bit, I don't know, I like this one a little bit better. The old one is on the right and the new one is on the left. I guess they have the exact same pattern, but the colors on the right side just don't look as good. It's probably because of the camera and maybe how the light makes the Cybertruck look on the left is just a little bit better. So yeah, I was not a fan of this one at first, but here, I think it looks quite a bit better, although I still prefer a Cybertruck without a wrap.
What are the near-term headwinds that we have? Ford saying they're going to cut back on production, and even Elon Musk saying Tesla will do the same in the near term.
The challenge here is price, really. One of the things that really kind of shook investors in Tesla was the suggestion by Elon Musk that maybe price cuts aren't done this year. That he wasn't committing to this idea that he wasn't going to cut any more prices, and really that's kind of gets at the overall issue in the industry is electric cars are just more pricey than gas cars, and what will customers pay for? And so we've seen a little bit of a price war. And when we look at Ford's results, and you see that they're losing $40,000 on the sale of the Mach-E, each Mach-E. That's kind of something that shakes investors. It shakes the companies, the C-suite, and it is worrisome if you're going to have an electric future.
I mean, it's certainly not sustainable to continue to see losses when you sell a vehicle.
Well, it seems like the mainstream media agrees with Elon that pricing for electric vehicles is still a little bit too high.
I want to dig a little bit deeper in prices, not only prices of EVs, but also gas prices. I'm taking a look at AAA right now. Regular unleaded 13% lower than a year ago, 25% lower than the all-time high in June of last year. Do gas prices, if they stay where they are, does that continue to be pressure on the EV market?
Years ago when the auto industry was thinking about electric vehicles, it thought it needed to compete against gas prices. And that's why they really struggled with bringing out a kind of an affordable electric vehicle that really could kind of compete in that area. What the breakthrough that Tesla had was sell an electric vehicle that was so cool, that was so sexy, that it wasn't about price. It was about performance or something else. And that was kind of the winning model for them. As the industry tries to move forward to get more people into electric vehicles, the challenge with price is going to be the issue there. Just because a person is looking at it as maybe their daily driver, and they're weighing all of these things: range, how far they can go on a charge, the cost of ownership. These are kind of the major levers that are being pulled.
You look at every metric that actually matters, and you will see Tesla dominating and winning. Not only do people really like the performance of Teslas, they also like their reliability. Now, in the gas-powered vehicle world, if you get a car that has high performance, ooh, you better be prepared to deal with huge reliability issues. Well, no more. With EVs, you don't have that problem.
Let's talk about competition overall. We're highlighting some of the biggest players, Ford and Tesla, and some of their plans to cut back production, but we're also seeing increased competition. Our Phil LeBeau came on. I was a bit shocked. He said the Rivian R1T, that's the best-selling electric pickup in the U.S. Are some of these upstarts, are they starting to pull some of the market share away from the OEMs?
Those are very interesting products out there and bringing excitement into the market, but also making it more competitive for those established players. Ford just is not the king of pickups when it comes to the EV market. And not to say that their offering isn't appealing to people, but there is huge competition, and it's only going to get harder later this year as Tesla brings out its Cybertruck, which is going to kind of probably appeal to a different kind of subset of buyers of pickup, but nevertheless, in the electric space, add a lot of spark and competition.
I think the Cybertruck supposedly appealing to a different subset of people is actually going to be a great thing, because I think a lot of these people would have never considered buying a pickup truck ever. For example, my wife never ever mentioned anything about, maybe one day we should get a pickup truck until the Cybertruck was announced. And then she went ahead and put a reservation out, and I said, okay, we can get a Cybertruck. So yes, it was actually my wife putting down the deposit and not me. I think the Cybertruck is going to surprise many, many people. And YouTube says you should watch this video next. And if you haven't finished watching this Elon Musk interview, watch this one first. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.